Shannon Sharp is not a better tight end than Tony Gonzalez, right?
Just figured that out right before the show.
Oh, I mean, DK should try to play a tight end here one of these days. What's going on, guys? This is the AJ Sports Show. We are at the football feast. We're about to be feasting up on some Monday afternoon, early evening NFL action, wherever you are on the global atmosphere. What's going on, Jay? What's going on, Andrew? How are you guys?
What up, man? Big game for you tonight, baby.
Yeah, definitely. Redemption. We got punked. We got outclassed last year, so that won't happen this year.
Don't think so. Is AJ Brown playing, by the way? I know he was kind of questionable coming in.
He is
playing today.
He had the shits or something. I don't know. That's what we say illnesses are now when they're not COVID related. What's going on? Lord Lizzie. Okay, so we're gonna. I guess we're not gonna speed through. We're not talking a million miles per hour like Jay does when he gets heated about John Gruden and stuff. Well, we're gonna talk about some of the action yesterday. I was able to catch the early slate of games, and I was a little disappointed because it was just blowout. I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go take a shower and shave my head. I don't know what else to do to watch these games. You only watch a blowout as if it's your team being blown out. You need to reassure yourself throughout the game that your team is losing. But what were your overall thoughts about yesterday's action? I know we'll break down the games, but what else did you guys think?
A lot of unexpected score lines, specifically the Baltimore and Chargers and Ravens game, and then also in the later slate in the afternoon, the Cardinals going into Cleveland and basically just, it should have been a 34-7 score line if not for a Cardinals best team in the NFL. Right now they're looking like it, man, even without their head coach. 34-7 score line. It would have been 34-7 had not have been for a prayer Hail Mary at the end of the first half, which is just returning on the favor of what the Cardinals did to the Bills last year. But yeah, a couple unexpected things, but I'm happy the Chiefs won. Survivor pick, got it right.
Well, to contextualize, the Hail Mary pass last year was to win the game. The Browns got on the board. But I get what you're saying. It was a pretty good play.
I'm so done with Survivor picks, man. I suck. I am just absolute garbage at these Survivor picks.
Even when you pick a good team, the right team, you pick it twice.
Oh my god, dude! I think I need to be out of the Survivor pool for the rest of the season. I just get automatic L's. Just put 15 graveyards in there. God, dude.
But Tony P, I would gladly like to see the Cardinals in the playoffs. Not the playoffs. The Super Bowl. That would be a good matchup for anybody to face off against. Kyler versus Justin Herbert. Kyler versus Josh Allen. Kyler versus Patrick Mahomes. That would be great.
Are they the best watching football right now? Just curious, right? Kyler Murray looks like about a quarter of the time he's literally just free balling it back there, and I think he kind of knows too. He's got a good feel to know when to do those things. Some people think he's just, and he is back there just kind of free balling sometimes, but it's not like on every play. When he's gone leaps and bounds, he's grown at reading defenses. Now he's adding that to the game where he's already uncatchable. He's so small, you wouldn't think that he'd be able to read over the linemen like he does, find the windows like he does. This is becoming a real thing. I may have been very, very, very wrong on. This guy looks the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
Shocked that you guys are on when the Bills are playing. Yeah, we'll be off in time, Ryan. 8:30.
Right.
Make sure that.
Right. I already did all my pregame rituals. I broke table. I ate some buffalo wings. I threw my bottle of ranch dressing out of the fridge because it's only blue cheese in this house. And I hope it's a Cards and Bills. I was about to say World Series, Super Bowl. Speaking of World Series, we got to get to that World Series. Go Dodgers. Okay, so I guess we'll start with a couple of games that we didn't necessarily cover in our preview, which is I Still Own You, which is Aaron Rodgers, Mr. Middle of the thumbnail. against the Chicago Bears. It was a close game for most of the game, right? I was able to catch a little bit of the score updates as that went, and but Rodgers is like he owns the Bears. I have his stat here. He's 22-5 against them all time, and 11-3 at Soldier Field. And in his last 5 starts, he has not thrown an interception and has thrown 12 touchdowns. So yeah, I mean, against the Green Bay's greatest rival, I would say he owns them.
Yeah, even brought back out the discount double check celebration after his rushing touchdown in the corner, and then I feel like this is gonna just be like the farewell tour of the NFC North for Rodgers this year, because he's just gonna go to all these venues and just dismantle his NFC North foes before he never sees them again. So I guess it wasn't really a blowout, but the game wasn't like necessarily close. I guess you could say, because it's 24-14 and Rodgers played well, but. I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of these "I own you" or like these trash talk moments from Rodgers on his little NFC North farewell tour going into next season. He's probably going to Pittsburgh. I mean, all signs are pointing to that. I don't know. Mike Tomlin's kind of like honeymoon phase with honeymoon eyes going to Rodgers, but. It
would have kind of bothered me a lot if like the Packers were blowing them out. Like since it was a close game, I get that. But apparently some lady was giving him the business, double finger, double check business. So
I'm like Eli Manning on Monday Night Football. I sent Johnny that GIF yesterday.
Yesterday, I don't know what came over me. I went on a spree of sending Andrew a bunch of GIFs of people flipping them off. So he sent me that one. Yeah, just to get to Ryan real quick. Ryan says, I've watched Russ for too long. These short guys are good. But like, Russ is the outlier, right? I mean, like, well, he had been. I mean, Russell Wilson would make Kyler Murray look small. Like, I know, Ryan, you know that. Like, I mean, like, literally. I mean, Kyler's just been unbelievable. This Bears and Packers game was really ugly. Really glad I didn't put a whole lot of DFS stock into it. I had a couple of Justin Fields lineups. Man, can Chicago please like unleash Justin Fields a little bit? Like, I mean, he hasn't thrown 30 passes in a game. Yesterday he threw 27, and I'm telling you right now that was 100% out of necessity because they were losing, or else there's no way he was even throwing that. Khalil Herbert looks really nice. He touched the ball 19 times, but any Chicago Bear running back is going to touch the ball a lot right now because they're just for some reason petrified to death of giving it to Herbert. I mean, of giving it to Fields. No. Rodgers is going to take Josh Allen's job. what do you mean?
That was my response.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I mean, he could be his backup. That's fine. Mitch Trubisky's is number one pick. Okay, so the only I would say saving grace for the Bears not being completely owned is that their defense looks great. I mean, I don't know if they're still leading the league in sacks, but Robert Quinn has played a good game, got a sack. He was able to rush Aaron Rodgers a few times, and Justin Fields. Like I think you had mentioned it in the previous show, Jay. He's going to improve, and these rookie quarterbacks have a long way to go. But I mean, why not start young with the lessons? And Trevor Lawrence got his first win this week, so that was kind of cool too. I know we're not going to talk about the Jags, but
in London, no less, yeah.
In London, man, yeah. Dude, that was a wild finish. That was a fun game to watch, even though like Miami
actually sucks. A good way to kick off the morning. Yeah, it was actually really fun. Shad Khan's going to move that team out there anyway in a couple of years, maybe like 10 years. Just give it time. He's going to have London games all the time. So Casey
we'll get to it, Tony. Thanks. We played a half of football well. That's about it.
Better than nothing, I guess. So Joe Burrow, Tiger King. Yeah, I mean Joe Burrow was the next guy here on my list. I wanted to cover. Not that. So I made my bolder statement that the Lions would win. I'm trying real hard here. I'm gonna keep going with that until the Lions win.
Dan Campbell sure appreciates it, pal. He needs all the help he can get.
Yeah, Jared Goff really needs some more encouragement. But for what it's worth, I think the Bengals did a good job. They're second in this division behind the Ravens. The Browns don't look great. I mean, we'll talk about them in a second here too. But yeah, I mean, they handled the Lions. This was not a close game. The Lions didn't have a shot. Their best assets, DeAndre Swift, didn't really do much the whole game, and he just got some receptions at the end to kind of like beef up his fantasy stats or DFS stacks or whatever out there.
Oh yeah, he did. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Jamar Chase.
Sorry,
Jamar
but
Chase had a
between-
huge block for Joe. Sorry, go ahead.
No, between him and Jalen Hurts, I mean, good lord, if you want a free 20, if you want 40 free DraftKings points, just play those two guys.
Book it.
Just play those two guys because the Lions are going to be losing every game. He's going to catch 5 balls a game.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow looked fine. Joe Burrow, I don't know. Like I think Joe Burrow.
He looked.
Good,
I thought he looked pretty good. He's not going to be like he's not going to be in every like do it himself, figure out every play. But he needs to be a little bit more strategic and kind of like stay in the pocket, like be composed, and which to that like they better get some offensive linemen around him the next couple of years because he could be very good. He just I think he just needs the weapons to make that kind of happen. Okay, so we can talk about our game picks here. Pretty smooth transition. I have had 2 bad weeks in a row, and but you know what? I'm picking against these two guys here who never pick against each other. They're always picking the same team. So I will be contrarian.
So bad yesterday. I felt so bad yesterday. I felt kind of bad. But
yeah, maybe when you guys make your picks, you guys shouldn't look at each other when you're making your picks. I'm just saying. Okay, but anyways, it's okay. It's a long season. We still got like 17 more weeks to go. So we got plenty of time to catch up this ladder here.
Oh my god, this guy! I actually just for full transparency, I'm pretty sure Andrew picks his first, and then I usually pick mine like literally like 20 minutes before.
It's okay.
Starts.
This is what losers say to make themselves feel better, buddy. Don't you don't
be someone's at the bottom.
No, I'm saying I'm the loser, and I'm trying to make
gotcha.
myself
Okay.
feel better.
I thought you I mean, okay. I was like, okay, wait a minute.
Okay.
Johnny throwing more shots than Ace. I was like, God, he's
what an ass.
I've been shit.
Relax,
guys.
bro.
I've been shit. I mean, good lord.
Sorry.
Wait till the graveyard comes up. You see all the wrong stuff I got.
So trigger warning. We're gonna have some loud sounds here. I'm not. This is not me right now. I'm about to play some sound, and this is not me. Okay. I'm just trying to give you a hard time. Okay. This is not me. I am not panicking. I'm just letting you know that I'm going to be the season record winner at the end of the year. You'll see. Don't worry. Okay. I love you. We're good. Okay. So, my boy Andrew, not Andrew here, on Sunday, I went with him, and, the Chargers.
That's who you should really have some beef with, Ace. Andrew, let's go. Get yourself in the chat. Explain yourself.
Andrew, it's okay, man. I mean, the Ravens, I knew the Ravens were going to win this game. When I realized we had all the same picks, I was like, I need to go different somewhere. So that was kind of my inspiration there. I should have went different on the Cardinals game. But yeah, I mean, the Chargers sucked this game. Everything they did was terrible. I know it was on the same time as you guys were watching the Chiefs game. I watched the majority of the first half. Like I watched 95% of the first half, and it was pretty boring. The Ravens ran 186 yards, which is not like it's pretty exciting to see but it's not when they're just walking into the end zone, which they did like 2 or 3 times. So
the Chargers. Okay, hold on. First of all, we're a show that gives the people what they want. Here you go, Ryan.
Thank you for that. That might have been Tony P's first round of aces. So
there you go. Well, yeah, Tony, we do aces around here, bro. We got up to 5. Well, hold on. We got a whole smorgasbord.
We have several. We have several.
Now we got like 100. Yeah, we're just racking them up. The Chargers don't stop the run. That's one thing. They're very like the Chargers will keep that too high safety all game, and they will let you run the ball on them. And they're a bend but don't break defense. They're gonna try to do what they can to stop in the red zone. And yeah, unfortunately, the Ravens. Good lord! Yesterday, dude, you want to talk about tilting a little bit? DFS ended up going pretty well for me. We made about $20, which holy crap, that's big time for your boy. Oh yeah, we're taking that all day. Couple of good tourney lineups. We'll talk about it on another show because we ain't got a whole lot of time today. But good rushing touchdowns for the freaking Baltimore Ravens. In case you guys were curious, Latavius Murray, Devonta Freeman, and Le'Veon Bell. What are we doing? Huh? Well, I mean, do we not want Lamar to win MVP? Can we get Lamar one of those, please? Huh?
Yep. Yep.
Anyway, yeah, the game was
No.
what it was, dude. The Ravens came, ran all over him. Justin Herbert was really rattled, which was really, something we haven't seen all season. The offensive line does a really good job of protecting him. And again, Baltimore is so beat up. Like the fact that they're playing this well on a week in and week out basis is pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I almost feel like they're playing their cards pretty well, but I don't know if that it gets exposed later on in the season when teams potentially try to figure out a way to combat them. I mean, the Chiefs have it's Chiefs versus cover 2 shell now, so I don't know. I'm just saying there's a team and a setup, and potentially the Bills defense, or I mean the Panthers defense. There's a couple of teams out there that have some depth and on their defense that could give these Ravens some trouble. They have to also go through a pretty decent division. I mean, I know the Bengals are probably playing a little over their head, but I mean, that you can't go into that game and think it's just an instant W now, right? The Ravens have to overthink and game plan for every team in their division, because the Steelers are also, they can run the ball as well. And I mean, Ben Roethlisberger is a statue of hamburgers, but I mean, he still has a couple Super Bowl wins. So Lamar is going to constantly face pressure this season, which is good for him, because if he responds to the pressure, then he's only going to get better. So, and it looks like he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly. So far we've seen that, and I mean, he's like exercised a few demons. Got the win against the Chiefs that he was trying to get for a while, and has been playing excellent football since the start of the season. But didn't expect the scoreline. Expected the win from the Ravens. Don't really know what happened on the Chargers side. They got we mentioned it before. I think it was just the one fewer day, and then plus the travel all the way across the road. Maybe it made a difference. Who knows? But it just that's the kind of game for the Chargers and for Brandon Staley. Got your ass kicked, get back on the plane. Next week's in front of you. Go get a win next week. So
absolutely. I forgot to switch to the to our I forgot the theme of this show, where we go through different courses. The first being the appetizers, where we talked about how Rodgers owned it. And anyways, we're in the main part of the show now, so just enjoy the pumpkin that you can see in the tight little background right there, because everything else covers it up. Okay, so we'll go to the next game here. The Cardinals and the Browns. My takeaway from this is the Browns are not going to do great this season. And
frauds. Excuse me.
I mean, they have weapons. Baker has proven that he even has weapons behind the weapons, because for what it's worth, like Donovan Peoples-Jones has made some incredible catches for him, not just this week, but in the past year or so. And they can get around Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt being hurt, but they also loaded up on defense. They spent a lot of money this offseason, and then they just come out playing super flat at home against the undefeated team, where we all thought without Cliff Kingsbury, like maybe there's a chance that the Browns could take advantage of that. But COVID coaches out, and the team wins. Even you can include Gruden in that too, because the Raiders won without Gruden.
Yeah, I think, I mean, my guess here is that Jack Conklin and Jedrick Wills being out, y'all got this one wrong. We will be going, yeah. I mean, you got to take a couple of L's in this business, just like the Browns did, just like the Chargers did. But, Jack Conklin, Jedrick Wills, two of the better starting offensive linemen in the NFL, being out, late scratches. They were projected to play, but I guess, weren't healthy enough. And then Baker making a couple, uncharacteristic decisions. Baker's not exactly like, he doesn't have an incredible pocket presence, but he does have awareness good enough to know when to get rid of the ball. And on two separate occasions, just absolutely held onto the ball, pump fake, spun around, tried to create something out of nothing. And you just got to know a little bit better. And that led to two fumble recoveries. Even without Chandler Jones, the Cardinals ate alive that offensive line. And Baker looked terrible all game. Kareem Hunt wasn't able to perform well because of how the passing game not being influenced by Baker playing better. OBJ is just, he's a great receiver on a poor schemed offensive team for his skill set, unfortunately, and that's just really what it is right now.
This dude Baker me and Andrew, we were watching, right? I mean, there was one time where he had a wide open on like a double in route, like they were in 2x2 set. The slot guy ran an in route. The outside wide receiver was Peoples-Jones, I believe, ran a nice little 12 route 12-yard post route, and he was wide open. Baker threw it like 8 yards behind him. Like, it wasn't even close. And I know like he's got the shoulder issue, and that kind of reared its ugly head yesterday too when he took that really bad sack and landed on it like all funky. I thought this dude was out. I thought he had like a torn, like some type of busted collarbone, like some type of area in the shoulder region. He was fine, I guess, because he came back. Didn't come back to do much, but he came back. I really want to focus on the Cardinals, man. I am admitting right now, and I don't know if this is going to continue, right? Because my biggest contention with the Cardinals is Kyler Murray. Not that I don't think he's amazing. He's so small. Like, if he takes a big hit, like, I mean, we saw this last year, dude. The guy came out and lit the entire league on fire, and one injury, and that's with any player, right? One injury is all it takes. But I'm a lot less concerned when I see like Josh Allen, who's 6'4", looking like damn Zeus out there taking hits, than I am when Kyler Murray is. And Kyler Murray, to his credit, and Lamar Jackson as well, have done a really good job this year of getting down, even in open field, and not taking those unnecessary hits. And I think that's really what's helping Kyler Murray last through this season. And honestly, the pick for me for this game, I mean, Kyler's still a young quarterback, missing his offensive coordinator, play caller, and head coach, and missing his quarterback coach, who I don't know if you know, the normal fan doesn't understand how big a quarterback coach is to a quarterback. It's literally huge. Aaron Rodgers, all this crap started with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay when they got rid of his quarterback coach without telling him, like, for no reason. The trust that a quarterback has in their quarterback coach, once that's solidified, it's something that really is near and dear to those quarterbacks' hearts, and it's a necessary part of every game. So the Cardinals looked unbelievable. 6 sacks yesterday. Obviously, losing the 2 tackles for the Cleveland Browns probably led to some of that. But the J.J. Watt signing, I kind of underplayed when they first signed him. I mean, he still looks like he's got some juice. Obviously, Chandler Jones has a ton of pop. Their secondary is not great. Their corners are not great. They have Budda Baker in the back, and he's an elite safety. But for the most part, that secondary is not very good. But that front seven does a really good job of getting to the quarterback and not exposing that secondary to a lot of the, punishment that they could normally be seeing. But, sorry, I was just looking at some of the comments. Lifelong Packer fan. I'm afraid the Packers are going to lose to the Cardinals. Packers are fine. The Packers are going to be a very good team. They're going to win 12 games, bro.
I will say about this Cardinals team is, we saw Kyler getting hurt last year, and that kind of, gave them a troubled end to their season. And then James Conner and Chase Edmonds have been like rushing like super well so far. So I think that is maybe the most key to their success. Obviously, Kyler being Kyler and not getting hurt. But if they can continue that run game, then what we've seen out of their defense so far, this team would be set then. Like they can roll the NFC almost roll the NFC, minus like having to get through like some of these big games that would come out in the playoffs, but they would have as good a shot as any. So our next game is we went over for this one too. Derek Carr came and again, and he's kind of proving that, out of these like, 4th or 5th year quarterbacks, kind of like, Dak Prescott, he can continue to help get his team wins. We haven't seen it necessarily for, come to complete fruition in like the playoffs and stuff like that. But I mean, he has had Gruden the last 4 years, so you can't knock the guy for, not doing his best. But Derek Carr just, I don't know if you want to say rattled this good Broncos defense, but he did a real good job of taking care of business against a stingy defense. Like this Broncos defense is supposed to play really good. And they just came out flat. The Broncos started off 3-0, and what have they lost the last 3? I'm kind of lost track here, but
they did.
Yeah, so
that's what happens. Rears its ugly. NFL rears its ugly head real quick, and it hits you in the face. Reality. I mean, they played the Jets, Jaguars, and Giants in 3 straight weeks and went 3-0, and then everyone's like, power rankings, top 5. Not so fast. So you got Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback. Put the brakes there. Teddy's good. He's not gonna turn the ball over. He's gonna manage it for you, but he ain't gonna help you win games, even against the Raiders. And I mean, for what it's worth, Max Crosby's playing out of his mind. He's playing pretty well. We picked Denver. Yeah, I picked Denver here because of the coach fire.
I know. Yeah, I know we're not trying to rationalize picking Las Vegas right now, right? Like with the entire fiasco that happened with the coaching staff, an interim head coach that has never been anything more than a special teams coach. Obviously going to Denver.
He's only got 49% of decision making in the personnel room. Why should I trust that?
Yeah, the Denver lost this game because they lost the turnover battle 4-0. Literally, the entire reason why you got Teddy Bridgewater and the only reason why number one overall. Okay, Tony, you may not know this, okay, because you're a little newer to the show. Number one overall team pick for our Team Cheeks League for the AJA Sports Show is Drew Lock. Dude's absolutely terrible. The only reason Drew Lock is not playing is because Teddy Bridgewater is supposed to do the one thing that Drew Lock does all the time, and that's turn the ball over. And Drew Lock could have thrown 3 interceptions yesterday, just like Teddy Bridgewater did. Yeah, Teddy literally is there just to not turn the ball over, and that's exactly what they did yesterday, and that's why they lost. Like that's literally the only reason they lost that game. I was about to say Oakland. Las Vegas didn't do anything outstanding. Like Derek Carr played the normal Derek Carr game he did. He was like 65% completion, under 300 yards. He did have 3 touchdowns, which is great, but you know that's whatever. It's a normal game for Derek Carr. I will also mention that Melvin Gordon, dust ball. Like, we need to stop this. Javonte Williams is just he needs to be the one getting the carries and the touches out of that backfield. Dude's got actual juice. It's ridiculous.
Javonte Williams needs to get 51% of the carries at least, and Melvin Gordon. Well, they both got like 3 targets yesterday. They both got 3 targets yesterday. I think Gordon got 10 carries and Williams got 11. So, I mean, it's pretty much 51-49.
It's enough.
But it needs, we need to increase that to like 70-30 or something. Javonte Williams has looked pretty good too. I wouldn't say as good as Najee Harris, but I would say he's one of the top running backs so far we've seen out of this class. And I mean, there's not a ton. So, okay. So, I mean,
to see Travis Etienne, poor guy.
We waffled on this one, but it's okay. Okay. So, Steelers at Seahawks, and I mean we all picked this one right, but it didn't feel right. Like it felt like it should have been much more than it was. It was just a game of field goals at the end, and obviously like that's kind of boring. I mean I didn't watch this game at all. I just plugged into my phone at some point and was like, going to overtime or whatever. But I don't know. Did you guys catch more of this game? Do you guys have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. You know, the leg of Chris Boswell gets me going more than anything in today's NFL. It's just absolutely juices me up. Chris Boswell. Post. We talked about this pregame. I mean, we talked about like Ace mentioned. You mentioned Shannon Sharp, like in the little intro. DK Metcalf is you're terrible. The decision. You're not a terrible player, but the decision you made at the end of the game is indefensible. You cannot go on social media and trash one of the greatest tight ends of all time after you made that boneheaded freaking play, catching the ball on the sideline, trying to get 9 more yards when you're already in field goal range to tie the game to send it to overtime, and then you fumble the ball only to have your backup, your backup receiver bail you out, Freddie Swain, and then you don't even run to the line of scrimmage. You're just standing there, almost get yourself in a legal procedure penalty on the offensive end of the ball to try and snap this and get the clock so you can get the field goal unit on to even attempt to get it to overtime. And then you have the audacity to go on the internet and yell at people because you're calling people little boys, telling them to stop. You're terrible. That was an awful play, inexcusable, indefensible. Bench him for the next half of football, please.
Everyone, that was today's AJ moment of the day. You deserve it, buddy. That was
Did Andrew just channel his inner Jay right now and just absolutely obliterate DK? Because I'm here for it.
That wasn't Jay Egregious, was it? I mean, that wasn't Ace Egregious.
It was Egregious.
It was Egregious, which I'm currently typing in right now.
Since you did not see much of this game, can I show you what the Seattle Seahawks gave up 3 first-round draft picks for? Can I show you?
I would absolutely.
All right, here we go. This is what the Seattle Seahawks decided to give up for 3 first-round draft picks. I mean, this dude doesn't. I mean, good Lord.
The outside stop instead of what Ben thought was.
Right in the face.
He was going to cross his face there, and for Jamal Adams.
Right in the face, Asa.
Yes.
I would have sealed the game. The game's over. The game is over. You
Okay.
paid 3 first-round draft picks for a glorified weak side linebacker. It's unbelievable. Dude can't cover a wet paper bag. It's
Now what? Now this comment makes more sense.
Yep.
About from
Thank
Tony.
you, Tony.
Peter.
And just
Damn.
remember, guys, please, let's all remember the little narrative train that we went on before this game, right? On Sunday, it's the narrative train when Russell Wilson's out of here, him and his mock huddling he did before the game. Who told? Did he know the cameras were there?
That was ridiculous.
Yeah. The whole time. Like, I get trying to be prepared, bro, but like, I guess I'm not in that mindset. Obviously, I'm not an NFL quarterback. Maybe you just have to be that locked in. I guess the last thing I want to leave you guys with is the impeccable performance by one big Ben Roethlisberger. You have to say double big with how big this dude is. Big Ben Roethlisberger. The guy had 40 attempts, bro. He threw the ball 40 times for 229 yards. He averaged 5.7 yards per attempt. I mean, it's I mean, God, dude.
Pretty good.
Big guy earned his paycheck.
You might as well have one of those, one of the ball machines out there throwing passes for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The guy cannot move at all. Ace, you didn't watch a whole lot of the game. There was that one moment where he tried to like pump fake, and then he was like, "Oh no, I actually wanted to throw it," and tucked it, and it fell right out of his hands. Like guys, if you're a Pittsburgh fan. Mishkut Allah. God, I don't know what you're gonna do.
I actually spoke to Ben Roethlisberger's wife, and the same issue happened with a baked potato last Saturday. So he's used to this.
I mean, what are you gonna do, right? Is Dwayne Haskins your answer? Because you're not bad enough to ever have like a top 10 draft pick. But I mean, I guess Aaron. Aaron seems like he's got a little fancy for Mike Tomlin. Maybe you get Aaron, I guess.
Ooh, imagine.
I mean, did you hear after the game the other day? After the game the other day, they like winked at each other. Was this the day you were off? Because we talked about it. They winked at each other.
Pat
McAfee show.
I saw that.
Yeah, Pat McAfee show. He was talking about how much he loves Mike Tomlin and stuff. So
I mean, that could be an underdog thing we haven't even thought about yet. I'd be all for it. Why not?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers can go suck it up in Pittsburgh, whatever, it's fine. Okay. We are moving on to the final portion of our show where we're going to go over our survivor picks and then just talk about the Bills and Titans real briefly. And to preface the survivor picks, let's do this. And we changed the theme.
I've been caught. Just fucking. I'm the guy that got bit and is spreading the apocalypse around. I'm chasing Asa and Andrew now at this point.
I'm absolutely here for the new graphic.
We are no longer the family-friendly Survivor island time. This is just a full-blown apocalypse. Every week, someone of us is dying. We haven't made it a clean week yet. So
I've lost 4.
Yeah, you have.
Oh dear.
I've lost 2 and Andrew's lost 2. So don't worry, we're not far behind you here, buddy. We're also running out of teams to pick here, but yeah, it's just a full blown apocalypse. We're gonna take each other's heads out here. Oh yeah. Oh, we do. I need to stop working so many damn hours. That's my probs. Okay, but so I'll just talk about my pick, and then you guys, if you want to talk about yours real quick. I mean, we did talk about the Broncos a little bit, but yeah, the Dallas Cowboys. This felt like they were going to lose this game the entire game after it kind of got started, and normally I would say like the Cowboys should have lost this game because this is just like the Bill Belichick effect and whatnot, and that that causes teams to lose against his cheating Patriots team. But I mean, for what it's worth, this Dallas Cowboys team has proven that they have such a balanced offense, and Zeke and the other Tony P are doing their part. You're seeing so much better production out of them. It almost seems unfathomable that they can keep this up. CeeDee Lamb, obviously with the game-winning touchdown and overtime. The Patriots played better than I thought they would, and obviously there was the Trevon Diggs interception for a touchdown, and then a Kendrick Bourne 75-yard touchdown, back-to-back plays, which made like the top 10 of plays this week. But yeah, I mean the Dallas Cowboys are kind of a hot and like, I don't think they're going to be a hot and cold team. I think their offense is always going to be hot. I think their defense is always going to be hot. But sometimes you play with fire. You're going to run up against a really good team. And we'll see what happens when they are faced with some more adversity with the loss, because their first loss of the season was against the Buccaneers. And obviously not many people picked them to beat Tampa Bay in the opening game of the season. So
yeah, the Cowboys, I thought made it a little closer than it should have been, but eventually got the dub. Trevon Diggs is as good as he's been with the interceptions, is just giving up a ton of yards. So I hope maybe he can right that ship somehow. But otherwise, the narrative for him, 7 picks in 6 games, is pretty outstanding. I picked the Chiefs. I thought just give them some positive juju their way. Headed over to Washington to play the football team. There was a whole debacle pregame with Jackson Mahomes, and I'm not even going to get into what happened with the Sean Taylor number. I'm just going to say real quick, people, they were supposed to be in that area. He did a TikTok. He does TikToks for every game. Get over it. It's not that big of a deal. The number was paid on the field. He's not buried there. Rest in peace to Sean Taylor. You're an amazing player, but it's not that big of a deal. Chiefs shouldn't be happy with the win. Satisfied, sure. The second half was much better than the first half. The first half was an absolute abysmal performance, especially on the part of the offensive side of the ball. Tyreek Hill slipped and fumbled the ball again through his hands. Patrick Mahomes threw the worst interception I've probably seen this decade. But they got the win, played a good second half.
His other pick was a freaking another one off of fingertips, man. That was also frustrating to see.
Very, very, very upsetting to see that. I even tweeted out pain at that moment at #ChiefsKingdom. Still a big supporter, obviously. Hopefully that just gives them juice. Defense, for what it's worth, played particularly well. One blunder, Ricky Seals-Jones, 40-yard touchdown. But other than that, played decent.
Random.
Pass rush still isn't there, but against a backup team like this, they performed exactly how you should have. So going to Tennessee next week, hopefully they pick it up.
Okay. I suck at the survivor picks. Okay, we already talked about the Broncos. I'll just talk about the Chiefs for a second. Because, the Chiefs should not be they answered some questions. They still have huge questions. The secondary is still not good. I did like seeing Juwan Thornhill in there. He played literally every defensive snap. Daniel Sorensen only played 39% of the snaps, which is what he should be playing, right? He should literally just be in there as the dime, weak side linebacker package when we're in 3rd and long, 2nd and longs. That's what Daniel Sorensen belongs in there for. He's just not an over-the-top free safety. And Tyron, for what it's worth, can do that too, but that's not his specialty either. I like Tyron around the box, and he could play too high. He could play too high with the best of them. Don't get me wrong. Well, probably not the best of them, but he could play too high very well. But what he does very well is in the box, blitzing. He's also great in coverage, whether that be man-to-man against slot guys or zone. That's where I want to see Tyron. That was where he was really he was there more. We talked about this before the show. Before the game, how the Chiefs just need more speed on the field. And we talked about the Cowboys defense and how they get away with a lot of big plays just because they're so fast. They don't allow 70-yard touchdowns, because even if stuff's wide open, they have the speed to chase it down and make sure that they can still have an opportunity, and not give up a touchdown on a huge play. The Ricky Seals-Jones touchdown was wide open. That was a busted coverage. The offense still doesn't have stuff figured out. This is probably one of the worst offenses the Kansas City Chiefs will play all season. So, their defense having a good second half performance was just that. They had a good second half performance against a team that, unfortunately, offensively does not belong in their league. Antonio Gibson didn't play much of the second half. They were not able to establish the run. #establish the run, because we love those guys over there to establish the run. And that really led to their downfall. Taylor Heineke's just not it. I know people, like Taylor Heineke, but he's not the answer there at quarterback. So I think the Kansas City Chiefs did what they had to do. There's not many times a team's going to win by 18 on the road, and I'm going to have a bunch of stuff to pick at. But when you're, expected to contend for a Super Bowl, and the first 6 weeks of the season, or the first 5 weeks of the season, you don't look like you're anywhere close to it, and then week 6 you beat a team that you should beat, that's not very good, you're not going to get a whole lot of praise. So good job for fixing some of the things that you needed to have fixed. Obviously, we still have big questions, and there's still a lot of unanswered there. But if Patrick Mahomes and the offense can keep doing what they're doing, even given all the problems that they've been having with the turnovers, they're still one of the most proficient offenses in the league. Most first downs in the league, most touchdown drives over 90 yards in the last 15 years with like 22, and it's not even close by like 7. The offense is really like not the issue. The turnover is like I kind of talked about. They're a cluster thing that I think is going to get patched up here. I don't anticipate, 8 of Patrick Mahomes. He's got 8 interceptions this season. 4 of them have come off the hands of receivers. Like we cannot make this up, right? Like, and this is not a cop out, right? Like you can't have interceptions. The one that he threw was absolutely egregious. But yeah, definitely, Kansas City has some stuff they need to work on. But it was good to have them get a win. It's been a few Sunday nights where I have not been happy going to bed, so I was happy this Sunday night.
Good. Your happiness is the key to my happiness. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up the show here with just a few more minutes of talk. Buffalo Bills at Titans. That was our prediction. Yeah, a lot of people have the Bills in this one. It's Bills -5.5. That line didn't change at all this week. Bills haven't allowed a rusher this season to get more than 80 yards in their past matchups with Derrick Henry. He hasn't surpassed 80 yards. Lots of injury bugs with the Titans on their offense. So we'll see if their wide receivers can, make do against a pretty tough Bills secondary. Said on the show yesterday, the Bills have had the highest point differential, the highest scoring offense, highest scoring defense, most takeaways. So Ryan Tannehill should have he'll have this Titans team has a better matchup. They're facing a better team than they did last year. This team last year versus this team this year is leaps and bounds different. I thrown up this graphic here. What I just wanted to quickly ask you guys. This is a quick little segment. Let me know what you're excited to see from this game.
You're absolutely killing it here.
That's phenomenal.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for the talent there for letting me record him while he's eating a sandwich in his car.
I'll say this. I'm excited for. I've mentioned it a couple times. Emmanuel Sanders, Cole Beasley, and Stephon Diggs combined for 6 receptions last week against the Chiefs. I do not expect that to happen again. One of the more lopsided, one of the more lopsided matchups here on defensive secondaries. The Bills was probably the league's best. The Titans with probably the league's worst. I mean, no sugarcoating. So I don't expect the 6 reception mark to stand. I expect big things. I will expect a lot of Stephon Diggs, a lot of Cole Beasley, and a lot of Bills points.
Wow, that's funny you mentioned that, actually, because I'm going to go on the other side of the ball, but talk about the same type of matchup. I think that this matchup between Julio Jones and A.J. Brown, if he's healthy, is really interesting versus these really elite corners that the Buffalo Bills have. The Buffalo Bills do a really good job of keeping the top on offenses. I'm really curious to see if Derrick Henry in that play-action pass game has any indication as to how successful the Buffalo Bills corners are. I mean, because let's make no bones about it, right? Julio Jones and A.J. Brown, that's one of the best wide receiver duos in the league when they're both healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, given their pedigree and what they've been able to do throughout their careers, A.J. And the other thing, too, is Buffalo has big corners. The Titans have big wide receivers. I mean, Julio Jones is 6'3". A.J. Brown is 6'3". These are big boys out there. So I'm really interested to see those guys match up. I think Buffalo's going to have a good plan for him, but obviously Buffalo's not going to allow Derrick Henry to win this ball game. So I think it's going to have to be those guys on the outside and Tannehill doing a little bit.
Yeah. I don't get me wrong. I do respect the Tennessee Titans. They kicked our asses last year. I wouldn't be surprised if this game was close, but all my gut says that this game is going to be another kind of blowout. Like I said last week, like I said this week, the Titans are one of the teams that the Bills circled on their schedule. We were embarrassed, and I think tonight we do a little bit of embarrassing. And if we see the Cards in the playoffs, well, we're going to circle your name too. But yeah, I think this is going to be a good game. I just Bills offense and defense has played extremely well. I think we're probably being a little underrated because the Cards are doing so well, and I'll take that. Always love to be an underdog. But yeah, Bills by 1 billion. Let's go.
Can I leave with one last point? ESPN, bring back the Manning broadcast. No one wants to see these dudes on regular ESPN. Give me the ESPN2. Give me the Manning Bros. That one was way more entertaining. I tuned in on every Monday night for that, start to finish. Super excited. Good Lord. The amount of information that they were giving out for free was unbelievable. These
That's
guys
why
were-
it's free.
Regular
It's free.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
they put
I'll
they
pay
put
for it. Put it on
they put it
ESPN Plus. I'll pay
they
for
put
it.
it they put it on a string. Now they're gonna put it on ESPN Plus. You'll probably
Oh,
see.
fine. I'll pay for it. Just give it to me, man. I mean, golly, that was so much fun to see.
I'm hungry for a Bills win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping you guys have a great night out there. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate the you guys chatting with us. We love football. We love hanging out with you guys. Jay loves you guys so much that he just he had to go. He's choked up and he had to spend a couple seconds off screen. But we will see you guys real soon. We'll give you guys our Thursday pick and a thumbnail probably on Instagram or Twitter. But until we see you guys again, thanks. Have a great night. Go Bills. Bills by a billion. Let's go Buffalo. So